Thank you for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. I'm your host, Toni Ringgold, and I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend thus far. I know that I am. It is a beautiful Saturday, and as many of you know, I do now pre-record my shows due to Corona's ugly tail. We sure wish that she would go on somewhere and somebody, whoever, say sorry, because I'm sick of her and everything that she brings. However, we are live, and I am so happy to have my guest here today. I do pre-record, so this is Saturday, August 1st, a new month. I cannot believe we're in the month of August. 2020 it's just gone. But today is Saturday, August 1st. For any of our viewers or our listeners who are listening via radio right now, the show does appear on Sunday mornings, broadcast on Sunday mornings. However, any of our live viewers right now that are watching, feel free to drop in any questions or comments. We are here for it all. And we thank you so much for tuning in today. This subject is a subject that is very important, is near and dear and close to my heart, being that I am a mother, and I wanted to offer some solutions and maybe some educational alternatives to some parents who are trying to figure out what they're going to do for their children's education. As we all know, March of this year, our world got turned upside down. Our babies were on spring break and they didn't go back no more. For those children who are in traditional school, it was quite a change. I will tell you, being a mom, I've seen the ups and the downs of being quarantined. I am fortunate to be a mother of multiple children, so they do have each other to keep company. However, I definitely see how much they miss the social interaction of children in their own age groups, all of the things that they have gone through, the educational changes and trying to grasp new information and all of these different things that have happened. We definitely are trying to plan better for the future and make sure that we do what we need to do in my own household. And I'm sure all parents are trying to figure out what to do as well. We have parents that are essential workers or that have to go to work because at some point we have to eat, right? And then you also have parents that may stay at home and, you're trying to figure out what alternatives you want to do for your kids. What if you don't want to send your children back to school in that setting to be exposed potentially to COVID-19? Well, here are some options for you today. So without further ado, I'm going to allow my wonderful, wonderful, amazing guests to introduce themselves. And then we're going to start the conversation. So starting off at the top with the lovely headset on, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Amelia Raybroker with Tap Tap Art School. Thank you for having me on today, and I'm excited to share everything we have to offer.
Awesome, awesome. And down below.
My name is Danielle Riley. I am a full-time mom. I have two daughters who have been homeschooled, one for the last 2 years, so I'll be entering into my 3rd year of homeschooling this year.
Awesome, awesome. So when we talk about education, we often think about a traditional setting. We think about a teacher, classroom, multiple kids, recess, lunch, go home. And, that's been the norm for us for a long time. But with the changes that are going on, I think it's important for us to know that, safety is first. And we want to make sure that although, I'm not saying anyone don't send your kids back to school. That's not what I'm saying. But there are, different protocols that we can take to make sure that our kids are safe. Danielle, you're entering into your 3rd year of homeschooling. Tell me a little bit about your experience and why you decided to homeschool in the first place.
So I decided to homeschool in the first place. My daughter was in the 2nd grade, and she was a student, did very great up until the 2nd grade year, and that's like the year where she seemed to struggle a lot. There was a shift in, I guess, what they were learning in school. So I just kind of got frustrated because it seemed like I had to kind of pre-introduce subjects to her at home and then allow her to get to school and then be able to kind of already have that introduction. So
right.
It was like, well, if I have to kind of pre-introduce it at home and then get her to go to be able to maintain the grades and for her to get it. And it's not that we were looking for perfection from her grades, but my rule of thumb is, okay, if you're an AB student, then that means what you're learning, you understand it. You know, if you a C, student, you grasping it, or it may be some little work that you may just not understand. But if we're going into D's and F's, then it was just my rule of thumb that, okay, you need additional help to be able to understand what you're learning. So it's not that we were looking for perfection in the grades. We were just making sure you were grasping the material that you were learning. So I just felt it was like, hey, let's give it an option of being able to pull her home and then, to start at home to see what we can do. And that's where 3rd grade, we entered into homeschool.
Right. And so what platform do you use for your homeschooling?
The platform we use is actually Texas Connections Academy. It is a virtual, basically public school. So it's not where I have to produce the curriculum for it. She has teachers. She's a part of HISD, which is Houston Independent School District. She just attends the virtual campus. So she still
she still has a school environment.
Yes, it's just virtual and at home. So she still has to meet state requirements in a state standard curriculum. She's just not sitting in the classroom doing it. She's doing it at home.
Does she get to work at her own pace?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Still, the classes are, you have your schedule of what it is that you need to have done. You just have the time frame of working it. So if we have appointments in the morning, we can work in the afternoon. We have the whole semester to get the work done, but it's at our pace. So if we want to work at night, if we want to work on the weekends, as long as you're actively working daily, there's no issue of the workload not getting done.
Tell me, how has she progressed since taking this approach?
Beautifully. Beautifully. I actually didn't expect the growth that I was able to see in her maturity wise. But because of being home, you're exposed to, a more controlled environment. So we were able to focus on the things that were important to us. So being able to do that, it's like, you don't take for granted, being able to cook or being able to clean, or her watching me, balance books and pay bills and do like these whole things. It's like, whoa, Mom, you do a lot while we're at school. So exposing her to all of these things, her maturity level just skyrocketed. Her independence level skyrocketed. So it's been a beautiful experience.
I love it. Now, for those who are just tuned in, you are tuned in to Sundays at the Square. I'm your host, Toni Ringgold, and I'm sitting here talking to two lovely ladies about homeschooling and educational alternatives. And so we were just talking about Danielle's wonderful daughter, who I had the pleasure of teaching piano to. Her personality, her spirit is so sweet. She is probably one of the sweetest kids I've ever met. And I'm not just saying that because we're doing a show. I'm like being completely honest. Such a pure spirit, such a pure heart. And I love her entrepreneurial spirit. And one thing I love about her is her she has a go-getter type thing about her. Like if she really wants to do something, she's going to, do her best to try and do it. And I think that that's awesome as well. So one of the biggest questions that I would ask for me personally is, what about social interaction? How do you manage that?
So prior to COVID, the school actually has activity groups. So like we're in the awesome activity groups. You can go to any of the planned field trips throughout the whole state if you want to, go to the different activity groups and do it as long as you RSVP. We also have a busy spiritual routine. So doing the extracurricular activities, the piano lessons or our spiritual routine or the other things that we did, we were able to incorporate all of those things into her education. So
awesome.
It kind of broadened the horizon, I guess you could speak, of all of the different things that we were able to do, because now it wasn't just in the classroom and one field trip a year. Now it's like we're taking field trips monthly. We're out in the community doing things all the time. So it was like the social interaction. We definitely weren't just sitting inside doing nothing. We were,
Right.
we're keeping up our routine and, just the different things we had. So she really didn't lack socialization. It just was a shift in how she was socializing.
Okay.
So
I love it.
it was just a shift. And even as a parent, you get up in the morning, your routine is, you get up, you get the kids off to school, you get to work, you see them in the evening when they come home. Well, that was kind of a shift with homeschool now, because it was a shift for the both of us. It was a shift for me because I actually had to learn to be able to understand how she learns. So
Right.
that was huge.
That, they had the joke talking about, the Black moms when you're trying to get them to read it. If Sally was riding the train at 60 miles per hour, if Sally was like screaming and like this.
We've had that moment. I will not lie. We've had the moment because the first year was me learning to teach her and me learning where she was. And then not only that, you figure if we're in a traditional setting of a classroom, the teachers are teaching. So the teachers know what they need to pull out of the students to be able to teach it to them. It's meaning they're being taught it, to repeat it, and then to apply it, so to speak. Well, when you go to homeschool now, she had to learn how to search for the information, how to read the information, how to do it, which is why I said the shift of the maturity of the child just skyrockets. Because now
you don't have someone just handing it to you. You have to look for it. You have to work for it. I love it.
You have to read the story and figure out, in language arts, this is what they're looking for. Well, you now have to go and read that story because there's not 20 other kids in your class to help you read it.
Right.
So in the beginning, she would read, I would read to be able to help her. So it was interactive for the both of us. But our first year, I helped her. This past year, she basically did language arts alone. So to see the difference in the first year, and then now that she understands, oh, this is what they're looking for. I got it. I can do this. So I helped. But last year, literally, she passed language arts alone.
Awesome. We have a question here. The question is from Miss Janice Turner. She asked, what is the cost of Texas Connections Academy?
Absolutely free.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In order to do this academy, you would have to be a stay-at-home mom or have the flexibility to homeschool. You can't just leave a kid and go to work and be like, okay, go to school. There has to be adult supervision. But what if, and this brings it over to my next wonderful guest, what if you do not have that option? What if you have to have supervision for your children and you don't want to put them in a traditional school environment? Hey guys, don't touch that dial. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. You are tuned in to Sundays at the Square, only on B106. And we are back. You are tuned in to Sundays at the Square. We just had to pay some bills real quick for all of our wonderful radio listeners. Some of our people that are tuned in live are like, what is she doing? But we have to take a commercial break. And we are back. We are back. I've just finished talking to the beautiful Danielle Riley, who has told us about her experience being a homeschool teacher / mommy / superwoman / extraordinaire, and how her daughter has thrived since being homeschooled. Now what we're going to do is we're going to segue over to my next guest, Miss Amelia Raybroker, who happens to be a business partner of mine. We love each other so much. I love both of my guests. Y'all just don't even know. They are near and dear to my heart. So it's great that they are here today. It's actually quite special. So I'm not talking to strangers. But anyway, Miss Amelia Raybroker, she came up with this ingenious idea. When she told me, I was like, yes, girl, yes. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to be quiet. So come on, Miss Amelia, let us know what you got up to leave.
Well, we've had Tap Tap Art School for almost 4 years, and we've been primarily an art school that focuses on art education. And of course, now with Toni Ringgold Music, we have music there too. And so we love, love, love having her. And, we've just, as a company, had to make a lot of shifts with 2020. It keeps, we just keep navigating nobody knows what's going on. And so as a company, we're trying to be there for the parents and the families and the kids and serving them the best way possible, and keeping our art school up and going. So education, I was a 4th grade teacher and an art teacher for Killeen ISD for many, many years. And I believe so much in art education, but I also, I love to enhance the academics with the arts. Something I've been thinking about for some time, but I didn't really know how that would look. And then with the challenges of 2020, all of a sudden it kind of became clear to me the path that maybe we need to take. And so we started our AFA program, Academics Fused with the Arts, because it is so important. You learn so much from the arts. And so what we've done is we are going to have a part of the day allotted to academics, but through homeschooling. So like Miss Danielle was talking about the program she's using, if the parent chooses that program, that is fine. If I have a parent that is choosing a K-12 program or somebody that wants to continue to go to the district while it's virtual and then shift back into the district, they can also do the virtual learning through the district. So we allot the time for the kids to partake in whatever the parent decides is best academically for their child, as well as we will have 3 certified teachers there to help facilitate any learning. So if the children have any questions or we need to enhance with manipulatives to get them to understand, we do have those educators on staff. But what I'm excited about is to then have art classes and kind of seeing what the kids are learning and how I can help them understand better through the arts, whether it's measurement or I don't know, there's so many things with mathematics and science that coincide with the arts. And of course, Miss Toni Ringgold Music, which is also very important. So we'll have time for that because, there's just so many enrichments that really, really are important to have in a full educational experience. And so the kids will be there from 8:30 to 3:30, like a normal school day, but we will have the time for online learning with facilitators for 4 hours of the day. And then we'll also have time for creative play and recess and art and music and all of those wonderful enrichments.
Let me ask you this. Will you still have after school care? Because I know Tap Tap has done after school care for many years.
Yes, we will. And we will also still offer our art classes through our after school program and before school program, because we do know there are parents, lots of military parents that have to get there pretty early. So that will also be included. So we'll have both.
Awesome. So what type, because I know that one of the first questions for the actual, just talking about AFA, arts infused with, or academics infused with the arts. How many children are you going to allow, and how are you going to separate the classrooms to enhance safety?
We are going to have no more than 10 per classroom. When the kids are with us, they are during class time required to wear masks. We've had summer camps running all summer with kids wearing masks, and honestly, they've done really, really good. I know there's a lot of people apprehensive about that, but our kids have done wonderful. They haven't really complained. We haven't had issues with them playing with them. I mean, you get kind of used to them. So our teachers wear masks, our students wear masks while they're inside. Now, we have a very spacious backyard, as you know, Miss Toni.
Yes, it is huge and beautiful.
And they love that. And they get so creative. They build stuff and create all the time. Like, that is honestly the most creative part of everything, because they just build and think of things on their own. But we do not have them wear masks outside. We do give them a break. Plus, I get a little nervous about, if it's hot and they're just running around, and they are outdoors. So when they are outside, they do not have to wear masks. We do every weekend we have the house completely deep sanitized. We have people cleaning throughout the day. You know, we are doing everything possible to not spread COVID. I mean, nothing is foolproof, but you know, we really are trying to make sure that we're keeping them as safe as possible. We do screen them when they come in, make sure that they don't run a fever. All of the things that the CDC is
hand washing station.
Washing stations, hand sanitizer, encouraging them with the hand washing. I mean, you know, the kids, you know, they're kids and they want to be, you know, right on you and right next to each other. And, you know, we do remind them about social distancing and you know, but we're doing the best we can to nurture them, but yet also keep them safe.
I'm super excited about AFA. I am. I think that it's going to be an excellent opportunity for the kids to still be able to get that daily social interaction that they were used to when they were in school. They get to get the academics. They also get to get the arts. I'm super excited because upstairs is going to be Toni Ringgold Academy of Arts. And if you have a kiddo, you know, of course, I'm going to be doing the music aspect of the program. But if you had a kiddo that you want to, you know, take piano or voice or guitar or any of those types of things, and you want to get them involved in private lessons, you will be able to do that at a discounted rate as well for being a part of AFA. Or if you just want to get your kids in, hit us up as well. So we are all like doing some educational things here with our kiddos. One thing I do want to make sure that people understand, a lot of times the arts are forgotten about. And what I appreciate about Danielle is even though, you know, you were doing the homeschool with the kids, and even though they probably had like a music program, you still knew that you should get Deanna into something extracurricular as far as the arts go. Studies have shown that children that are involved in arts do better in school, especially those that have to concentrate, like when you talk about piano or you talk about, you know, drawing or pottery or singing. Those things really they make you use both sides of your brain. So it really helps to develop them, and it also helps them to develop creativity. And we know that creativity breeds innovation. And when you are innovative, you can change the world. So the arts are very important, and it's something that we don't want to forget about with our kiddos. We want to make sure that we are infusing them with the creativity part of life and being able to create and make and try new things and mess up and start over again. And, you know, it's okay, you know, and I think that is what the arts allows them to do. Of course, academics are very important. You know, we talk about, you know, STEAM, and we talk about all of the different types of programs that we want to do with our kids to keep them involved and engaged. It's all very, very important. So I am so excited about the program. And I applaud you, Miss Danielle, for what you've been doing for your babies. I think you're a super mom. Always felt that way. Danielle, before we close, and if you're just tuned in, you're tuned in to Sundays at the Square. I'm your host, Toni Ringgold. And today we are talking about homeschool and educational alternatives. Danielle, I want to ask you, for a mom or a dad or a guardian who's thinking about homeschooling, what is probably the biggest challenge and the biggest reward that you've gotten since doing it?
I think that the biggest challenge, looking back on my first year, and then looking at it now, was just underestimating yourself, that like it may not be for you. It's really flexible. You know, you have the options of the traditional schooling, but doing the homeschool, it taught me a lot about my child, and it fused like just a tighter bond and relationship with her. So it's like at that age, you know, and to be able to spend that time, what I thought was the biggest challenge was really my biggest reward. So
right.
Thinking, you know, I wasn't able to do the homeschool. There's no way I could sit down that I was going to be like, Johnny got how many apples? No, it's like, started that way, but then being able to, you know, you have to have patience. and then have an open mind to understanding it's a new journey for you. It's a new journey for them. And the reward is just the journey that you go through with doing it. Like I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. John Riley said, and she's a super sister and aunt. And Trinell Porter said, and a super best friend. Missy said, hello, Amelia Ray Broker. Oh, hey guys. You guys so much for commenting. And so, Miss Amelia, do you have any lasting words, or if anyone wants to get in touch with you and find out more about the Homeschool Hub, how do they do so?
So you can come to our location at 103 Mountain Lion Road in Harker Heights. You can also visit our website, taptapartschool.com, our Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, please like it. We put a lot of updates on there. You can also call us at 833-5055. I did want to add, Toni knows this because she's taking over the upstairs, but we are building on. We are a little bit in construction, so you'll have to be a little bit patient, but we are so excited. We're having a huge space built on, which is going to be able to really be a plus when we get into the school year. And I did want to mention one thing. Ms. Toni mentioned STEAM. I do have a teacher that just left a district to come over to TapTap, and she has experience in STEAM. We're not there yet, but we are going to start getting that program going as well.
Awesome sauce. And if you have any kiddos, or if you as an adult want to come in and take lessons as well, I teach all ages, honey. 5 to 99. You can definitely contact me at 254-535-7512. Again, that's 254-535-7512. We're located at the same location, 103 Mountain Lion Road in Harker Heights. Yes. And we will be opening back up. Now, I teach virtually. So if you are are saying, hey, I don't necessarily want to come in to the school, we do teach. We have virtual setup. So we'll be teaching virtually. Most of my clients, including Danielle, was like, yeah, we're going to stay virtual for a little while. So we do have virtual capability, and I actually like virtual a lot. And then we also have in-person, and that'll start probably the end of September, somewhere around there. I'm going to open back up the facility. But either way, we are here to serve you for all your piano, voice, guitar, anything musical. Also acting and public speaking as well. So I want to thank you guys for coming in and speaking with us today. We definitely appreciate you all. You guys are just awesome. Y'all are just awesome. Pat yourself on the back. Y'all are awesome. And I want to thank all of our listeners via Facebook right now who are listening live or viewing us live. Thank you for all your comments. If you like this interview, you can catch this one and others on www.myb106.com. Again, that's myb106.com. All you got to do is find a little tab that says At the Square with Toni Ringgold, and you can listen to this interview and others as well. You can also follow me personally at Toni Ringgold Music. That's TONIRINGGOLD on all platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also go on my website if you're interested in lessons or learning a little bit more about me at toniringgold.biz. Again, that's www.toniringgold.biz. I want to thank all of our listeners, our live viewers for tuning in today. And again, I want to thank my wonderful, wonderful guests. Yay!
Thank you.
All right, guys. Now, y'all know my favorite saying. I say it. I live by it. Always remember, there's enough sun in the sky for everyone to what?
Shine.
All right. Y'all be blessed.